In this tutorial, I'm going to review what we went over in class last week. It will cover bringing your sequence of change photos into Photoshop and making selections to each photo. We're going to start by launching Photoshop on your icon and your dock. Once you launch it, you'll get this dialog box. We'll start with creating a new image. And we'll start with creating it using a custom. If your images are horizontal, you can make it 1000 pixels by 740 by 72 pixels per inch. If its orientation is vertical, then just click on the vertical. Mine are vertical, which I'm using for demo, so I'm just going to click on that. I'm also going to make it keep it as an RGB file and keep my background as white. I'm going to click OK, and it's going to bring me to an image in the workspace, and I'm going to go to View and clear my guides. We're going to be using or bringing in your photographs in a different way than just embedding them, because you have traditionally we would go to File and Embed, Place and Embed. But because you have a series of photos and you want to bring each photo into a layer, it's easier to go to Automate, Load Files into Stacks. So it's Files, Scripts, Load File into Stacks. You're going to browse on your desktop for your images, your photo images. I think I put them here. And you can see I have them all numbered in sequential order. If you don't do that, if you haven't done that, you need to do that before you get started. You can name them 01, 02, 03, 04 if they're not in sequential order. I'm going to click all of them. I'm going to hold my Shift key and then click Open, and then Open. And each one of them is going to come in to the Layers panel. If you were to just open or place them through Embedded, you'd have to do each one at a time. So now I have them all placed. For this sequence, I have decided that I'm going to change the color of these balloons as they go from one photo to the next to the next. So what I need to do is create a selection for this grouping of balloons on each photograph. I'm going to start by clicking on my first photograph, and I'm going to uncheck all my eyes for the other ones just to make sure that I know that I'm working on the right photo. I'm going to come over here and grab my object selection tool. This is the newest selection tool for my Photoshop, and it does a very good job. I'm going to click on my mouse or my keypad and drag across, and Photoshop's going to make an immediate selection. It's done a pretty good job, but I can see right here that I still need to take some pixels out. So I'm going to come here and grab my quick selection tool, and I'm going to hold down my Option key because I want to take away. Now I'm going to unclick on my Option key, and now just click while I'm in the quick selection tool back over this ball to kind of grab these green pixels. Maybe this. Photoshop does a good job of remembering things, so if you do it once, it'll go back, grab kind of the appropriate colors. So I'm looking at this. Looks like I might need to stretch this here. Yeah, I think it looks good. So now I'm going to come in here and save this selection. So I'm going to go under the Select Save Selection, and I'm going to name it Beach Balls as a new channel, and then I'm going to save it. Okay, now I'm going to click Command D to remove that selection, and I'm going to unclick on this photo and go to my next photo, which is at 20%. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get my Option Select tool. I'm going to take it and drag along around the grouping of balloons. I'm going to hold my Option key and grab my Quick Select and take away these pixels. Now I'm going to unclick my Option key and then grab the rest. So it's kind of like back and forth, holding your Option key and then letting your Option key go to take away pixels and add pixels. So I'm taking away these pixels right now, so I'm holding down my Option key here. Now you can make your quick select bigger by using your bracket tools. The one on the right makes it bigger, and the right on the bracket tool on the left makes it smaller. Okay, this looks good. I'm going to save the selection. I'm going to name it Beach Ball. And then I'm going to go on to my next image and do the same, and then to the last image and do the same. You might have more than 4 images, and so for each image you need to save your selections. You need to Command D to get rid of your last selection and then start again. So for your acing class, what I'd like for you to do is load up all your images from one of your sequences, the way I showed you through the scripts, load files and stacks. And then I want you to determine what you want to change in terms of color. We're going to work with color for our first animation. Determine what you want to change in kind of the overall sequence, and then go through each image and make a selection of the object that you are going to change the color. Now you don't have to change the same thing. It could be multiple different objects. Like I could change the color in this series of balloons in one image and the color in this balloon in another. So it's really up to you to determine what you want to do. And that will be what we will be going over in our next class. So if you can come prepared to class with your selections made in your images, and then make sure after you do that, that you come back and you save your file as a save as, because you want to save it as a Photoshop. And you can call it sequence Photoshop file. PSD is a Photoshop. You want to make sure it's on Photoshop, and then you can put it right into your same folder with your photos. It's going to ask you to do this, maximum, and you just say yes, and you will be prepared then for class on Wednesday. So if you have any questions, you can email me or chat me, but I think with this tutorial you'll be able to get this done. Thanks, everybody.